The sky over the planet Varel was dark and full of smoke. Fires burned everywhere. The trees, once tall and green, were now black and broken. The air smelled of burning wood and something worse. Fear. Kira stood on a hill and looked down at the ruined village below. She was an alien, but she was not like others on Varel. She was small, with green skin and big eyes that shone like stars. But today, even her bright eyes were full of tears. The enemy had come suddenly. They were stronger, faster, and had weapons that no one on Varel could fight. Kira's people had never faced such danger before. They ran and hid, but many were captured or lost. Kira felt the weight of hope on her shoulders. She was one of the few left who could send a message to other worlds. If someone didn't come to help soon, Varel would be lost forever. Her hands shook as she activated the ancient communicator. The device was old and worn, but it still worked. Kira typed a message. Help. We are dying. Our world is lost without help. Please send aid. Kira of Varel. She didn't know if anyone would hear her. Space was vast and empty. Many had tried to send calls before, but none came back. Kira's heart beat fast. She looked up at the stars, hoping that someone somewhere would see her message. But the night was silent. Suddenly, a small light appeared in the sky. It was far away, but it was moving toward Varel. Kira's hope grew. "What is that?" she whispered. The light grew brighter and faster. It wasn't like the enemy ship she had seen before. It was bigger and stronger. Kira ran down the hill to the village, telling the others to watch the sky. Everyone stopped what they were doing and stared. A huge ship appeared above the planet. It was dark and shiny, with sharp edges and glowing blue lights. It looked like a warship, but different from anything Kira had seen. The ship landed with a loud roar. Dust and debris flew everywhere. The ground shook under the weight of the powerful machine. From the ship came tall figures. They wore heavy armor and carried strange weapons. They looked fierce, but their eyes showed no hate. One of them stepped forward. He was taller than Kira, and his skin was pale but strong. He spoke in a deep voice that Kira could understand clearly. "We heard your call for help," he said. "We are the Deathworlders. We come to protect you." Kira's heart was full of relief. Help had come, but she also felt fear. The Deathworlders were known across the galaxy as warriors. They brought power and destruction. "Why do you come?" Kira asked. "Our enemies are strong. Can you really save us?" The Deathworlder smiled a little. "We fight with power you have never seen, but we do not come to destroy your world. We come to save it." Kira nodded. She wanted to believe him. The enemy ships were still in the sky watching. The Deathworlders moved quickly. They set up defenses around the village. Their warship sent out signals and scanned the planet. Kira followed one of the Deathworlder soldiers, curious about their power. She saw weapons that could shoot fire and shields that could block any attack. The people of Varel gathered around the new protectors. Some were scared of the strangers, but most were hopeful. Kira stood at the edge of the village looking up at the dark sky. The enemy ships had not left. They circled like hungry birds. She knew this was only the beginning. The Deathworlders were strong, but the battle for Varel would be harder than anyone imagined. Kira felt the cold night air and whispered, "We must be ready. Our fight has just begun." The screen fades to black, but the sound of distant engines and the heartbeat of a warship fills the silence. The Deathworlders' ship stood tall and quiet under the pale light of the planet Varel's twin moons. Inside, the air was cool and filled with low hums of powerful machines. The crew moved with calm but serious steps. They knew their mission was important. The leader of the Deathworlders, a tall figure named Doran, looked out through the ship's large window. His eyes were sharp and full of thought. He had heard the aliens' call for help and understood the danger this world faced. "This place is not like any we have seen," Doran said softly to his second-in-command, Lyra. "The enemy is strong and clever. We must be ready for anything." Lyra nodded. She was fast and smart, with a calm spirit. We have the best ship and the strongest crew, she said. But we must learn about the enemy first. Outside the ship, the planet was quiet for now. But in the dark forests and broken cities, shadows moved. The enemy was watching. They did not want to lose this world. Doran called his crew to the control room. Maps and lights covered the walls. We must act carefully, he said. Rushing in will only cause more harm. We will use our power wisely to protect the innocent. The crew prepared special tools and devices. These were not just weapons, but machines that could protect, heal, and help the people of Varel rebuild. While the Deathworlders made their plans, Kira watched from the village. She felt a mix of hope and worry. Can these strangers really save us? She wondered. The warship was powerful, but the enemy was still out there waiting. Suddenly, the ship's sensors beeped softly. Lyra looked at the screen and saw strange signals near the edge of the forest. We are not alone, she said. The enemy is moving closer. We need to act fast. Doran nodded. Send a team to scout and find out what they want. But be careful. We do not want to start a fight. The scout team left the ship in small, quiet ships that moved like shadows. They flew low over the trees and searched for signs of the enemy. Kira joined them. She wanted to help and learn. The forest was dark and full of strange noises. Every step felt heavy with danger. Suddenly, they found signs of destruction. Broken trees and strange marks on the ground. The enemy had been here recently. We must warn the village, the scout leader said. They will come again soon. Back on the warship, Doran and Lyra worked to strengthen their defenses. They activated shields around the village that could protect people from harm. They sent out messages to nearby planets asking for more help if needed. Kira saw the Deathworlders' strength and began to believe. They were not just warriors, they were protectors. But as night fell, the sky filled with silent ships. The enemy was gathering, ready to test the Deathworlders' promise. Kira stood next to Doran, looking at the dark horizon. We may be small, but together we are strong, she said quietly. Doran smiled. This is only the beginning. We will fight with wisdom and courage. The screen fades slowly, leaving the sound of soft engines and quiet voices. The Deathworlders. Ship moved silently through the starry sky, gliding closer to the dark forests of Varel. Inside, the crew was alert and focused. They knew this mission was delicate. They needed to understand the land, the people, and the hidden dangers before they could protect the planet. Kira stood beside Doran in the ship's observation room. She watched the dense green forest stretch endlessly beneath them. There is more to this world than I ever knew, she said softly. The enemy hides well. Doran nodded. We must learn quickly. Our strength alone is not enough. We need to be smart. The scout team, led by Lyra, prepared to move again. This time they would go deeper into the forest. They packed light, carrying tools to study the environment and devices that could detect hidden life. As the scouts entered the forest, the air grew thick with the scent of wet leaves and earth. Strange sounds echoed softly. Birds, insects, and something else. A quiet energy that felt both beautiful and uneasy. Kira followed quietly, her eyes wide. Every step felt like stepping into the unknown. Suddenly, the group stopped. In front of them was a large clearing, where ancient stones formed a circle. The stones glowed faintly with a blue light. This place is old, Lyra said, touching one of the stones. It holds power, but we don't know what kind yet. Kira felt a strange warmth spread through her. Maybe this is why the enemy wants this world, not just for its people, but for the power hidden here. The scout team worked to understand the stones. They scanned the area and sent data back to the ship. Doran studied the information carefully. If we protect this power, we protect the future of Varel, he said. Suddenly, the calm was broken by a soft vibration under their feet. The stones pulsed again, brighter this time. The forest around them seemed to hold its breath. Something is waking, Kira whispered. Back on the ship, sensors picked up strange energy waves coming from the same spot. The crew looked worried but ready. Doran stood tall. This changes everything. We must protect the stones and the people, but we must also find a way to use this power wisely. Kira felt a new hope. Maybe the enemy was strong, but Varel had secrets they did not know. With the Deathworlders' help, those secrets could become their greatest strength. As night deepened, the forest glowed softly from the stone's light. The enemy watched from afar, unsure of what they faced. Kira looked to the sky and whispered, "We are not alone, but together we are stronger." The screen fades with the sound of the wind and the soft glow of the stones, leaving viewers eager to discover what will happen next. The sky over Varel was dark and filled with quiet tension. The village was calm for now, but everyone knew something was coming. The Deathworlders had brought hope, but the enemy was patient and waiting in the shadows. Kira stood at the edge of the village, her eyes scanning the horizon. She felt the weight of the moment deep inside her chest. The powerful warship had arrived, but would it be enough? Inside the ship, Doran and his team studied the information from the scouts. They saw signs of movement, small, quick forces trying to find a way inside the village. But these were not just ordinary scouts. They seemed to understand the land and the magic of the stones. Lyra turned to Doran. "They are cautious. They know we protect something valuable." Doran nodded slowly. "We must stay one step ahead. This is not just a fight of strength, but of minds." The Deathworlders began to set traps and protective fields around the village. These fields shimmered softly, invisible barriers that could stop any unwanted visitors. Kira helped her people prepare. She taught them how to use simple tools and hide safely if danger came. Though afraid, the people trusted the Deathworlders. For the first time, they believed in a future. Suddenly, the night was filled with a soft hum. From the dark forest, glowing figures appeared. They moved silently but with purpose, heading toward the village. The watchers alerted the Deathworlders. The protective fields flared to life, glowing bright blue. The glowing figures stopped, unable to cross the barrier. They tried to communicate, sending strange signals and sounds. Doran ordered his team to send a message back, hoping to understand the visitors. Kira watched closely, feeling curious rather than afraid. Could these beings be more than enemies? Could there be a chance for peace? The glowing figures finally spoke through the message, telling of their fear and misunderstanding. They did not want to fight but sought the power of the stones to save their own people on a distant world. Doran lowered the protective field slowly. "Let us talk," he said. "Maybe this can end without pain." The visitors stepped closer and a new conversation began, a chance to find a way forward without conflict. Kira felt her hope grow stronger. The battle was not just about fighting. It was about understanding and trust. The night faded into dawn, and the first light of a new day brought the promise of peace, or the shadow of future challenges. The morning sun rose slowly over the village of Varel, casting soft golden light on the healing land. The air was filled with hope and quiet excitement. After the tense night, a new chance had come, a chance to understand the visitors from the forest who once seemed like enemies. Kira stood near the edge of the village, watching the visitors approach carefully. Their glowing forms were gentle, now moving with respect and peace. Doran and Lyra stood beside her, ready to speak and listen. Doran's voice was calm and steady. "We have come to protect this world and its power, but we also want to find peace. Tell us why you sought the stones." One of the glowing visitors stepped forward. Their voice was soft but clear through the translator device. "Our world is dying. We face a slow end without the energy of these stones. We sought only to borrow this power, not to harm." Kira felt a deep sadness in their words. She looked at the stones, glowing faintly behind them, and understood the truth. The stones held power beyond her people's knowledge, power that could save many worlds if used wisely. But taking this power without understanding can be dangerous, Lyra said carefully. It can harm more than help. The visitors nodded, their light flickering like a slow breath. "We want to learn," they said. "Teach us to use the power without destruction." This was the moment Kira had hoped for, the moment when enemies could become friends. She smiled gently. "Together we can protect the stones. Together we can share their strength." Over the next days, the Deathworlders, the people of Varel, and the glowing visitors worked side by side. They built new defenses, not for war, but to guard the stones and the planet's future. Scientists and scholars exchanged knowledge, learning from each other's worlds. Kira felt her heart swell with hope. The stone's power was no longer a secret to be feared, but a gift to be shared carefully. But the peaceful days were also a test of trust. The enemy who had once threatened Varel still watched from afar, waiting for a chance to return. Doran warned, "We must stay ready. Peace is strong, but it must be protected." As the sun set on the village, lights from the warship and the glowing visitors shone side by side. A new future was beginning, not just of protection, but of friendship and understanding across worlds. Kira looked at the sky and whispered, "We are not alone anymore. Together, we are stronger than ever." The story leaves viewers with hope and curiosity. Can this new alliance hold? What challenges will come next? The journey is just beginning. The nights on Varel grew quieter, but the feeling of change was everywhere. The stars above twinkled softly, as if watching over the new friendship that had blossomed between the Deathworlders, the glowing visitors, and the people of Varel. Kira stood on a hill overlooking the village, her heart full of hope but also a gentle caution. "Change is never easy," Doran said beside her, his voice calm yet serious. "Trust takes time, and peace must be earned." The glowing visitors had learned much about the stones and their power. They shared stories of their dying world, their hopes and fears. The people of Varel shared their traditions and dreams for a better future. Together, they built new ways to use the stone's energy, not for fighting but for healing and growth. One evening, as the sky turned purple with the setting sun, an unexpected message arrived from a distant star system. It was a call for help. A HFY world much like Varel, struggling against dangers beyond their control. Kira and Doran looked at each other, understanding that their mission was far from over. The stone's power was a gift to share, but it also brought great responsibility. "We must go," Kira said softly. "If others need help, we cannot turn away." The Deathworlders prepared their powerful ship once again, ready to journey beyond the stars. The glowing visitors offered their knowledge, and the people of Varel gave their blessings. As the ship lifted off, the village watched with mixed feelings: pride, hope, and a touch of fear for what lay ahead. Doran stood at the ship's helm, looking forward. "This is only the beginning of our story. Together we will bring light to the darkest places." Kira smiled, feeling stronger than ever. "We carry the strength of many worlds, and with that strength we can face anything." The ship disappeared into the night sky, a bright beacon of hope traveling toward new adventures, new friends, and new challenges. The story ends on a note of promise and wonder, leaving viewers eager to imagine what lies beyond, and ready for the next journey to begin.